Hello everybody, my name is Rahul and in this video we'll be looking at a try hack me room called content discovery. It is more of an informational come easy room wherein we'll be learning about some of the ways that you can discover or you can use in order to look for things that's generally called reconnaissance. So let's start off with the first question. What is the content discovery method that begins with M? So there are a few methods. One of them is called a manual approach, wherein you manually hunt for things. The second is the automated approach. So the first one is M, so it will be manually. I typed in manual but it did not work, so I typed in manually. The second is A, it stands for automated or automation. Automated. The third is content discovery method that begins with O. It is OSINT. So it is open source intelligence. So here you are using open source tools or things or resources to look for or hunt for bugs or look for people, whatever it is. Now that we have an IP address, the first thing that I do is generally start off with an Nmap or Rust scan. But here we know that it is just based on content discovery, and as far as I know, this is just pertaining to the web part, so will not be scanning anything. The first is manual discovery. So one of the things that you do is you go out on Google and you type in the IP address or you type in the name of the name of the website, but you will get only as much as information as much as the developer wants you to know, or some of the misconfigurations that he has done, but there could be some things that he doesn't want you to know. So this is the file where you should hunt for. So it is robots.txt. There seems to be some issue. Let's see, ping. I can't ping it. Okay, so now it should work. It works. So this is the thing. So you start off with a robots.txt file. So these are some of the ways that I do, and the next thing they're talking about is called a favicon. So generally a favicon is the logo or the image that you get displayed right over here. So this is where you come to know that what the website is. But oftentimes what people do or developers do is that they'll just use a framework and they'll forget to change the favicon. Now this could be a problem, because even if the developer hides everything or obfuscates everything, if he forgets this part of the thing or the website, things get pretty tricky, because what will happen is the hacker will come to know that, or the security researchers will come to know that what CMS was the website using or what CMS has it been made on. So this can create a problem for a developer, because it makes a job easy for the hacker. So now what we did here was, it asked us to curl this part of the website and find out the MD5 sum of it. So this is what we exactly did here, and now it is telling us to go to this OWASP favicon database and look for the MD5 sum that you just found, and it will tell you the CMS that it was using, so a framework that it was using. So now that we are done with it, now third is sitemap.xml. Now you cannot find every endpoint on a particular website. So this is where sitemap.xml comes into place. It is also used for SEO purposes, but sitemap.xml often shows you what part of the website. It's just a way of telling users or telling bots that okay, so this is the endpoint that I have ready. But this can also be helpful for us, because without much effort we can come to know about each and every endpoint that is present on a website, just like here. So this was the secret area that it was asking us for. So the next part comes in the HTTP headers. Now some websites, what they do is that they use some manual headers. So or the headers which are proprietary to them, and we can oftentimes abuse them. So first of all, how do we find it? So you can use curl for this purpose. Type in tag head, because we just want to know the headers. So then the IP address 10.10.216.37, and here it is X flag. So this is a custom header being used. Now here is the part where we come in terms with the framework stack. So once you have established the framework of a website, where did we find it? We found it with the help of a favicon, and either from our favicon example or by looking for clues in the page source such as comments, copyright notices or credits. You can use them to locate the framework's website. So now looking at the source code of this Acme IT support. So this is one of the things that I generally do is, and what I found here was I was able to find some GitHub repositories in the wild just by looking at the source code. So let's just type in Command U if you are on a Mac and Control U if you are on a Windows or Linux system. So now what will happen is, sometimes what does happen is you find some comments. For example, this could be credentials or GitHub repositories, private GitHub repositories or something like that, and you can use it for your own benefit. So now it tells us to go to the comment that is there and just look for things. So as you can see, I just pressed on the documentation button, and you can see here that once you have installed the framework, navigate to this. So now we know what the framework was, and let's just navigate to this part. Okay, and it says you can log in with the username admin and admin. So let's just try to log in with admin and admin. And as you can see, try hack me, change default credentials. Okay, so the next part comes to Google dorking or hacking. So this is again a different concept. I would be making a video on that. Comment if you want it right now or today or tomorrow. But it is one of the best things that I have learned. I have been able to find databases out of it, hidden databases that were exposed but couldn't be found if I were to generally brute force it. So this is where Google comes to your help. So you can use queries or filters, so to say, to look for specific things and avoid things that you don't want, because if you type something, Google will flood you with endless results. So let's just read the question out. Which Google Doc operator can be used to only show results from a particular site? It is site. So if I type in site, tryhackme.com, it will just show me websites that begin with tryhackme.com or that belong to tryhackme.com or are a part of tryhackme.com. So this is where Google Docking comes in. The second extension is a Vapalizer. So Vapalizer, what it will do is it will make job easy for you. I have it installed right over here. It will tell you all the framework, security things, CDNs, tag managers and JavaScript libraries being used. So what online tool can be used to identify the technology the website is running? So it is Vapalizer. The next thing is Wayback URL. Now I haven't used that much, but it is one of the greatest things that you can learn. There is a particular tool as well which is called Wayback URL. So what happens in a Wayback machine is that you get snapshots of particular websites. So you can go as per your requirement to a particular date and see if a snapshot existed of that website, and you can look for example, I updated my website today, but prior to today or before today I had my comments in the website, but now that I have removed it, there is no way you can find out the comments in the new website. So what you can do is you can go to archive.org.web and you can look for my website, and you can easily find out what the comments were. So GitHub is again one of the important things. I'll be making a video right on. So because see what happens in GitHub is I have seen people getting bounties right from just looking at the source code in GitHub, and you don't have to go through the entire source code. You just have to know how to use GitHub in a more efficient way. So what is Git? Git is a version control system. Now there are S3 buckets. Now S3 bucket is a bit tricky because what happens is before hackers exploited S3 buckets in the wild, S3 buckets used to be open for all. It used to be generally open for all the people or people or public. But now, because it was actively exploited, what AWS decided to do was it started to go with that it would be making S3 private, so it will only be accessible to a particular owner or a website. And but sometimes what does happen is people try to make misconfigurations error, or try to misconfigure websites, and this gets them into trouble. So S3 generally, it is a bucket system where, you know, it is just a type of bucket where you store data. So what is the URL format do Amazon S3 buckets end in? So it is just .s3.amazonus.com. and then there are automated tools. You can use FAF, DARB. I particularly tend to go with GoBuster. So it says what is the name of the directory beginning with MO. So the format is dirbuster. If you are looking for directory, go for dir, tag u, the UI on the URL part 216.37, followed by tag w, which is the word list. So I'll be giving word list, sec lists, and let's go with common.text, tag t for threads, number of threads, and it's just fine. You can just hit enter. Now GoBuster, it is GoBuster, BU. Now I've already run it, so you'll just be finding monthly. And what is the name of the log file that was discovered? You won't find it in the common, but you will find it in raft, medium, small small text file. So generally log files end in .log. So I have added another parameter -x.log. If you run it, you'll find development.log. So thank you guys. I hope this was of some use to you, and if you liked it, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.